Today we're going to be ranking football trios, whether it's defensive trios, midfielders or attackers. The first tier list video we're going to be doing on the channel, and we've got 5 different categories. At the top we've got the GOAT category. We then go down to upper echelon, still very good. Decent in the middle, then we go to meh, you know, sort of why they here, just yeah, basically. And then just not as good. I mean, I didn't really want to put like shit or rubbish or trash at the bottom because none of these are going to be that bad. If you do go on to enjoy this video, make sure you drop a like and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Let's get straight into it. So up first, it looks like we've got Zidane, Makelele and Figo. Well, that's what it looks like to me. And I don't really know about this one because I didn't really know this was a trio. I mean, Zidane, a box-to-box or attacking midfielder. Makelele, the more of the 6, the holder. And then Figo, who's a winger. So as a trio, I'm not really sure. I'm just going to put it in. Obviously, they're all individually amazing players, but as a trio, I can't put it high. I'm going to put it in just not as good. It's going to go straight in the bottom tier for me. Up next, we've got Modric, Kroos and Casemiro. What a trio they were, winning multiple Champions Leagues. That is an ultimate midfield trio. You've got Casemiro, the dictator, the holder of the ball, the one who breaks up the play. Modric, who can influence the game with his passing. And the same with Toni Kroos. Both of them, obviously Modric the more, you know, more of the number 8. Toni Kroos again, could be a 6, could be an 8. But as a midfield 3, they won so many Champions Leagues together, won so many La Liga titles. I've actually got to put it, genuinely, I'm putting it in GOAT. You can crucify me all you want, it's going right at the top for me. Up next, we've got the first one from Manchester United. I'm a United fan, of course, and this one is Beckham, Keane and Giggs. I didn't get to watch loads of these players in the prime. Obviously, Ryan Giggs towards the end of his career, David Beckham towards the end of his career, and Roy Keane I didn't really get to watch at all, but I know how good they were. I've seen clips. I've seen what they are as players. But as a trio, again, you've got Beckham, who's more of a winger, Ryan Giggs is a winger, and Roy Keane's the dictator in the midfield. I'm just going to put it in meh, because as a trio, they're not really a trio, if you get what I mean. Now, this is an interesting one. We've got Ribéry, Robben and Muller. Another weird trio. Like, you don't really... I don't really... When I think of Bayern Munich, I'm not thinking of them 3 as an attacking trio. Thomas Muller, of course, isn't really a number 9. He sort of plays just behind the striker, and with Robben and Ribéry, we're both very decent players. But as a trio, I can't put this quite high, because I don't think they were amazing as a trio. Obviously, they won Bundesliga titles together, but I'm putting it in just not as good. We've got our first one involving Lionel Messi, and it is Messi, Zlatan Ibrahimovic and Thierry Henry. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't think Ibra shone at Barcelona, so this is a bit of an interesting one. I guess Henry was on the left, Messi on the right and Zlatan up front. On paper, you look at that and you're thinking, my God, that's probably one of the best attacking trios ever. But I don't think they worked amazing together. I think you know what, it's going to go in meh. I think Messi's got so many more in this list, so that is one of his weaker ones, I think. Back to Bayern Munich now, and I'm not really sure on this one. Thomas Muller features again. We've got Muller, Lewandowski and Serge Gnabry. I'm just going to go ahead and put that in just not as good. I don't think that's ever been classified as a trio, you know what I mean? Up next is Pirlo, Seedorf and Gattuso. A very, very nice midfield for AC Milan. Won a lot of Champions Leagues with this midfield. Again, it's similar to the Kroos, Casemiro and Modric trio. Pirlo can influence games on his own. His passing is majestic. Gattuso, sort of like gritty player, getting involved in the challenges, breaking up play like the Casemiro. And then Seedorf does what he wants. So again, I don't think it's as good as Modric, Kroos and Casemiro. I'm going to put it in upper echelon. Again, that might be me because I'm only 19 years of age, so again, I didn't really get to watch them influence the game as much when because obviously I was about 6 years old when they were all playing, so yeah. But I think upper echelon, you know, you can't go wrong with that. They're still an unbelievable trio. Up next, we've got Barzagli, Bonucci and Chiellini, the 3 Italian defenders. Don't get me wrong, all unbelievable defenders, revitalised that Juventus defence. But as a trio, I'm just going to put in just not as good, and there's a big reason for that. I don't think they hardly ever played a 3-back. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think they ever played like a back 3 of Barzagli, Bonucci and Chiellini. I think Bonucci was sort of used as a midfielder at times, and then Barzagli and Chiellini, it was a little pivot at the back. So yeah, I'm just going to put it in just not as good. Again, we're not really we're not really onto the best ones yet. We're just easing our way in. Now, here's one for me. Personally, I would put in GOAT, but I'm going to take my United bias away. It is Tevez, Rooney and Ronaldo. Unbelievable front three. Pretty much won us that 2008 Champions League along with the rest of the team, obviously, but they were influential key factors in that team. I loved watching these play, but I can't put them any higher than upper echelon. I think they were an unbelievable threesome for 1 or 2 years, but then obviously they dropped off a little bit. Tevez went on to Manchester City. Ronaldo ended up leaving for Real Madrid. So yeah, I'm going to put it in upper echelon though. I really want to put it in GOAT, but I'm going to hold my United bias a little bit. Now for me, one of the greatest trios ever is Ronaldo, Bale and Benzema. 100%, another Real Madrid trio going into the GOAT category for me instantly. Gareth Bale, unbelievable player. We know what Ronaldo's like and we know what Benzema's like. Ballon d'Or winner finally. Them three, again, like the other three, Modric, Casemiro and Kroos, won so many Champions League, so many La Liga titles. They can't not be in the GOAT category. Up next, we've got Dennis Bergkamp, Robert Pires and Thierry Henry. And straight away, I'm going to put them in upper echelon. I think, again, Thierry Henry and Bergkamp were very good. Robert Pires was very good. They were in the Arsenal Invincibles team. They won the league without losing a game, as much as it's flawed quite a bit in this day and age. But as a trio, they're still going to go in the upper echelon category for me. I can't put them any lower. Another Real Madrid one up next, and this is a bit of a weird one. We've got Pepe, Varane and Sergio Ramos. Again, it's going to go in just not as good. All individually amazing, but as a trio, Real Madrid never played a back three with them three in the same team. They probably did on the odd occasion, but that was never a staple point of their team. It was Pepe and Sergio Ramos, and then later on when Varane was breaking through, it was Varane and Ramos. So again, I just don't think as a three, they were unbelievable together. Now up next, it's going in GOAT again. It's Sergio Busquets, Andres Iniesta and Xavi. Influential midfield, Busquets. You always have them sort of midfielders, then midfield trios, sorry. You've got the holder and the two dictators. Iniesta can influence the game, like I've said, with so many other players. Iniesta, joy to watch. Xavi, joy to watch. And Busquets, very underrated player. Underrated in that Barca team for many years, and he definitely is part of one of the best trios in football history. Now, when we're talking about Italian defenders, this is the three I wanted to see. We've got Cannavaro, Nesta and Maldini. They're going to go in the decent category. I could put them in upper echelon, but as a three, again, Italy played more of a back three quite often. They also had Baresi early on in his days as well, but obviously Baresi didn't play with these three that much. These three, between obviously sort of the early 2000s and mid 2000s, were a staple point of Italian football. Just an absolute dynamite of a back three. You've got them all just risking their lives for each other. That's what you love to see on the football pitch, especially as defenders. So definitely going into the decent category for them three. Up next, we've got another Barcelona one. We've got Pedro, Messi and David Villa. Don't get me wrong, I love all three of these players, David Villa especially. David Villa, if you don't already know, I'm going to tell you a fact about David Villa. He is my favourite player of all time. Just outright, David Villa is my favourite footballer ever. So it hurts me to do this, but as a trio, they did win the Champions League together. They could be in there, but I'm going to put in just not as good because there's so many better ones out there. I'm sorry, but I can't not do that. Up next, we've got Xavi, Iniesta and Xabi Alonso. I'm going to put them three in the meh category. The reason I'm doing that is because it was only for international football. I know I've put them three, Cannavaro, Maldini and Nesta, in decent, but these three played not on, you know, they didn't play on a regular basis together. I think Iniesta and Xavi did, obviously with Busquets, but Xabi Alonso didn't start all the time for Spain either. It was normally Busquets, so as a trio, I'm going to put them in meh. Now we've got our next GOAT candidate, MSN, Messi, Suarez, Neymar. 100%, and to be fair, probably the best trio of all time, in my opinion. I think they were unbelievable together. Suarez scored so many goals at Barcelona. Neymar had his best years at Barcelona, and of course Messi, one of the greatest players of all time. It's not really a debate, it's got to go in GOAT, and for me they are the best trio ever. This one's a bit of a weird one. We've got Di Maria, Ronaldo and Ozil. I'm not a fan of that trio. I'm going to put that in not as good straight away. I mean, Di Maria, he's okay. Ozil, he's okay, but Ronaldo was a left winger, so I don't think Di Maria and Ozil were the striker at this point at Real Madrid either, because Ronaldo was off the left. You probably had Di Maria off the right, and I don't think Ozil was playing as the number 9. So again, as a trio, they were probably okay, but it's just not one of them famous trios, is it? I can't rank it any higher. It is a controversial one. Messi, Neymar and Mbappe. When Messi came to PSG and we had that front three, I was buzzing. I was like, PSG have got to go and win everything now. But it didn't live up to the hype at all. They didn't really get along together as a three. They didn't do well in the Champions League. Obviously, they won Ligue 1, but that's a given when you're at PSG. So, I'm going to put in not as good. It took Messi quite a while as well. The first season, he didn't live up to the hype everyone thought he was because it's Lionel Messi, for God's sake. But in the second season, they started to get a little bit better. But I was expecting a Champions League win, and we didn't see that. Too many egos in that team, and they didn't work well as a three. A few more left, and we've gone on to this one. It is Firmino, Salah, and Mane. You know what? I'm going to put them... You know, they could easily get an upper echelon, you know. Ooh, it's a tough one, this one. You know what? I'm a United fan, but they changed Liverpool. Mane off the left, Salah off the right, Firmino up front. I've put them in upper echelon. They're not quite GOAT. It was between decent and upper echelon, but if you look at the amount of goals they scored as a trio, I think Salah and... Well, Salah's definitely over 100 goals in the Premier League, I believe. And I think Mane might be as well. I did this video a few days ago. I should really know what I'm on about here. But yeah, they've all scored so many goals for Liverpool. They've revitalised that team, won Champions League. They did eventually win a Premier League. So I've got to put them in upper echelon. They changed Liverpool. Up next, we've got Lionel Messi, Thierry Henry and Samuel Eto'o. An interesting one. Again, another Barcelona one. Another one involving Messi. As a trio, I don't really know, you know. Were they okay? Were they decent? It's between Mer and decent, because as a trio, again, I don't think they lived up to the hype. I'm going to put them in... decent. Yeah, I don't think they were in upper echelon. It was between decent and Met at the end of the day, because I think there was just better trios out there, and I don't think they gelled together, again, as a unit. This one, I actually am going to put in upper echelon. You might shoot me for this one because they didn't play together for that long, but Ronaldinho, Messi and Eto'o are going to go in upper echelon for me. Loved watching them. I've seen so many compilations of these three working together. Ronaldinho, you've got the flair on that left-hand side, sometimes played centrally as well, but normally off the left-hand side. Eto'o bags the goals, Messi on the right. They can all just score so many goals, work well as a team. They all assisted each other. They just worked well and gelled together as a trio. And finally, we have got Rivaldo, R9 Ronaldo, and Ronaldinho. The three Brazilians, yeah, I'm going to put them in GOAT, I think. I think Brazilian football was changed for the better, again, with R9. If he didn't suffer all them injuries... Well, he was an unbelievable player as it is, but if he didn't suffer them injuries, he could have been so good. You know how good Ronaldinho is? People don't really know how good Rivaldo is. I think he's a very underrated player. But that concludes my tier list. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys think. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace!